David Lammy is the new
I know David Lammy.
Deputy Prime Minister. Now, David Lammy has never been known as a great, shall we say, intellectual genius.
James Morrow clashes with UK's new Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy. You're not going to believe what just unfolded on live television. James Morrow, the outspoken commentator known for pulling no punches, went head-to-head with Britain's brand-new Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy. And let's just say this was not the polished, calm media appearance Lammy was hoping for. Instead, the clash spiraled into a fiery exchange that had viewers leaning forward in disbelief. The tone, electric. The tension, off the charts. Lammy, freshly appointed and eager to project authority, found himself on the defensive, forced to respond to Morrow's relentless questioning on everything from foreign policy to the state of Britain's economy. And the result has the political world buzzing. So, let's break it down. This showdown happened during a high-profile interview segment broadcast live. Lammy came in prepared to sell the government's message: stability, competence, and a new chapter for the country. But Morrow wasn't buying it. He pressed Lammy hard on his record, asking why voters should trust Labour's promises when, in his words, Britain has been hearing the same lines for decades. Lammy tried to stay composed, pointing to new policies, international alliances, and Labour's plan to rebuild public trust. But Morrow cut him off mid-sentence again and again, insisting that the public wanted straight answers, not political rehearsals. At one point, he challenged Lammy directly. "Deputy Prime Minister, do you honestly believe ordinary families feel your government understands their struggle? Or is this just more Westminster theatre?" The air in the studio got heavy. Lammy paused, tightened his jaw, and pushed back, accusing Morrow of sensationalism, of trying to score headlines instead of having a serious discussion. But the damage was already done. The narrative of a confident new deputy being tested and rattled was set in motion. Reactions were instant. On social media, clips of the exchange blew up within minutes. One viewer posted, "Morrow asked the questions we've all been shouting at our TVs. Lammy looked cornered." Another countered, "Lammy kept his cool under pressure. Morrow just wanted drama." Journalists chimed in too. A political correspondent wrote, "If this was David Lammy's first big test as Deputy PM, it showed both his strengths and weaknesses. He stayed standing, but he took some heavy hits." Meanwhile, Labour insiders privately admitted the optics weren't great. One party source told a tabloid off-record, "We wanted Lammy to look statesmanlike. Instead, it looked like he was fending off attacks. That's not the message we wanted out there." This isn't just about one TV clash. It's about a much deeper tension in British politics right now. On one side, you've got a government desperate to project strength and competence to prove it can deliver after years of frustration and division. On the other, you've got a public increasingly skeptical of polished speeches and party promises. James Morrow, whether you love or hate his style, tapped directly into that skepticism. He voiced the doubts millions of voters hold. Why should we trust you? What makes this time any different? Are you listening to us, or just talking at us? And Lammy, stepping into the role of Deputy PM at a crucial moment, was forced to answer those doubts in real-time live, under pressure, with no room to hide. The clash also raised questions about Lammy's future. Is he ready for the scrutiny that comes with being the country's second-in-command? Can he connect with voters outside London, the ones who feel left behind by politics as usual? Some commentators argue that Lammy's willingness to step into the arena and face tough questions is a strength. Others say it exposed a vulnerability that his polished rhetoric crumbles when confronted with raw, emotional challenges. And let's not forget the timing. This moment came just days after his appointment as Deputy Prime Minister, a moment when he was supposed to be basking in momentum, not fighting off critics. Instead of headlines about Labour's unity or fresh vision, the story dominating the news cycle is this clash with James Morrow. For the government, that's not ideal. For the opposition and for commentators like Morrow, it's a golden opportunity. So where does this leave us? For viewers, it was gripping television. For Lammy, it was a reminder that every word, every hesitation, every pause will be dissected under a microscope. For Morrow, it was another notch in his reputation as a fearless voice, willing to challenge power even when it pushes back. But the bigger picture? It's about whether the British public still believes in the grand speeches or whether they now crave something raw, direct, and unfiltered even if it stings. And the question remains. If this is how Lammy's first week as Deputy Prime Minister is going, what happens when the stakes are even higher? What happens when the pressure isn't from a commentator on live TV, but from a nation demanding answers? Because if this clash showed us anything, it's that the honeymoon phase is over before it even began.